I'm Samuel Razo, and I'm going to be talking about 1952's classic, Singing in the Rain. The studio was Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and it was directed by Gene Kelly and Stanley Donen. So Singing in the Rain was a movie. The end. No, but seriously. Singing in the Rain all started when Betty Comden and Adolph Green were called by producer Arthur Freed. Prior to that, both of the writers had worked with Freed on a film called On the Town, which was a big hit. The two writers were only told that Freed wanted them to write a storyline that would include songs from the Freed and Brown collection. Together, Nacio Brown and Arthur Freed produced popular hits that were famous and used in many MGM productions. And MGM is a famous company, and you probably remember the logo. It's the lion that growls at you. The name Singing in the Rain stuck with Arthur Freed, and he told them from the beginning the movie will be called Singing in the Rain. So that's pretty much all they had to work with, and they had to create a whole story line to these random songs. The duo writing team, Betty Comden and Adolph Green, pretty much dropped everything, went to California, rented a house there to prepare and write for the new film, Singing in the Rain, and lived a couple blocks away from Gene Kelly. Both of the two writers had worked with Gene Kelly in a previous film, so they would often go over to his house and write the script. And they would complain to Gene Kelly. They would be like, we can't think of anything, what the heck? When writing the script, Betty Comden and Adolph Green were inspired by a man named John Gilbert, who was a famous actor during the silent film era. Once sound came around, his career fell apart because audience discovered that with sound, he wasn't that great of an actor and he was kind of silly. With this idea in mind, the two wrote a film with that same idea, but with more of a light-hearted feel, because they didn't want it to be uber depressing like that man's career. Kelly was casted as the lead, Don Lockwood, and he was also hired as the dance choreographer. Both writers were pushing for Stanley Donen and Gene Kelly to co-direct. The two writers ultimately got their way, and Stanley Donen signed on as co-director. When it came to Debbie Reynolds, she was the last one to be thought of to play the leading lady, Kathy. However, by the time the film was released, just about everyone wanted to take credit for discovering Debbie. She was not a dancer. She was 18, just about to turn 19, and had little work before Singing in the Rain. The company MGM kind of pushed Debbie Reynolds on them. So the story takes place at the beginning of the sound era in Hollywood, 1927. So the story starts out with Gene Kelly's character, Don Lockwood, and Gene Hagen's character, Lena Lamont. They're going to a premiere for their new film. They're basically Hollywood's it couple, because they play in the films that they're in. They're always a couple, and after the premiere, Don Lockwood is left by his best friends, and Lockwood gets attacked by a mob of adoring fans. So he does all these cool little tricks and stuff, and he gets on top of a bus, and then he jumps off the bus, and he lands in Kathy's car, and that's when we meet Kathy. So she gives him a ride, and but they get in an argument because she claimed that stage acting requires more talent. At the after party, we find out that they refer to them as talkie films because, you know, they have sound now. They're gonna start picking up, and that they're gonna be the new thing. Talkies actually become the new big hit because, of course, they're gonna be a hit. They have sound, duh. So their project, The Dueling Cavalier, had to be changed from a silent film to a sound film. And with that, troubles arise because Lena Lamont has the most annoying voice ever.
And I can't stand them.
Can't.
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 Don makes up with Kathy, and they actually start falling in love. Cosmo comes up with this genius idea that Lena's voice should be dubbed by Kathy, and that it should be a musical instead. They changed the name from Dueling Cavalier to The Dancing Cavalier. So the movie's a big hit because Kathy has a beautiful voice. At the premiere, Lena's a crazy jealous person, so she wants Kathy to be her voiceover for every film that she ever makes, basically signing her soul and voice away to Lena. And Lena Lamont at the premiere is stubborn and gives a speech, even though everyone told her not to speak because they would realize that's not her voice. So she gives a speak with her annoying high-pitched voice, and the audience is like, that's not your voice. What? And then so she goes back, she's freaking out, what does she do? The audience wants to hear her sing a song. So Kathy has to go behind the curtain and sing for Lena.
She'll be back of the curtain singing, and I'll be out in front doing, like in the picture.
That's right.
What?
You gotta do it, Kathy. This thing is too big.
Of course she's got to do it. She's got a 5-year contract with me. Get over to that microphone, Selden.
You heard of Kathy, now do it.
I'll do it, Don. I'll do it, but I never want to see you again, on or off the screen.
Now, come on, Lena.
What are you going to sing, Miss Lamont?
Singing in the rain.
Singing in the rain.
Singing in the rain. In what key?
A flat.
A flat.
In A flat.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above. The sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place. Come on with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I'll walk down the lane.
But Don and Cosmo, like the good people they are, they remove the curtain and you see that Lena is being dubbed, and the audience discovers that Lena is just a pretty face and doesn't have the talent behind it. So Kathy and Don make up and they sing in the rain, and it's a happy ending for them all except Lena Lamont, who is my favorite character. So that's pretty much the story of Singing in the Rain. When they would do dance scenes, if a mistake was made, one mistake, they'd say cut, start from scratch. So they'd film one dance number all day. When it came to the scene Good Morning, it was a one-shot scene. It was a tracking shot that followed them from room to room, and so no cuts, and they used 9 cameras to do that scene.
I would cry and hide under the piano. I can't learn this anymore. I'm banging on the floor, you know, this is too hard. So, sobbing away.
Debbie Reynolds had to practice from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day just to get it right, because she had to keep up with these 2 amazing dancers. And she actually said that her feet were bleeding by the end of the day when filming. When it came to the number of Singing in the Rain, it was actually supposed to be the 3, Cosmo, Kathy, and Don singing the song, but they changed it because they wanted to add more of the storyline of Don falling for Kathy. They wanted it to be more of like, oh, I'm falling in love, I'm so happy, life's beautiful, and give Don more of the childlike feeling. They filmed with Technicolor. The day before filming, Gene Kelly actually came up with the flu and had a temperature of 103. When it came to the music that you hear in the film, it was all dubbed, it was all pre-recorded, they lip-synced. The scene took 1.5 days of filming, and Gene Kelly was sick, but look how it came up. Look how it came out, beautiful. It came to the scene You Were Meant For Me. It's just, look at the lighting. The cinematography of this film is amazing. It's just, Stanley Donen and Gene Kelly said that lighting was the most important thing, because lighting made the film come to life.
I've laid awake the whole night through. If I but dared to think you cared, this is what I'd say to you. You were meant for me.
Sadly, Singing in the Rain was overshadowed by another Gene Kelly project, which was the movie An American in Paris. An American in Paris actually won the Oscar for Best Picture, Cinematography, Screenplay, Art Direction, Best Musical Direction, and Costume. So because of that buzz from that movie, it overshadowed Singing in the Rain, so Singing in the Rain was pushed to release in time for the next round of Oscar awards, and it was nominated for 2 awards. Jean Hagen for Best Actress in a Supporting Role, and Landon Hayton for Best Musical Score in a Motion Picture. Singing in the Rain did not win any. It gained more fans as time went on, and it's now considered the greatest musical ever made. So though Singing in the Rain didn't make a huge impact in its time, as time went on, it left a legacy, and it showed how great that musical was and how much of an impact it made. And it was the first musical where it started off as a film and then was adapted to stage. It's a big part of our pop culture today. But watching it back, it's an amazing picture. The numbers, I think the use of one-shots really shows you how talented the actors are, because nowadays if you watch musicals, it's a lot of cuts. That's my presentation. Thank you for listening, and I hope you liked them.
I'm singing and dancing